We are Bissel of Chutzpah. We're Jews. I'd like to start the show with a very old Jewish joke. All right? Okay. It's about jokes. Okay. If you tell a peasant a joke, he will laugh 3 times. Once when you tell him the joke, again when you explain him the joke, and a 3rd time when he understands the joke. For peasants, love to laugh. If you tell a landowner, a rich man, a joke, he will laugh twice. Once when you tell him the joke, a 2nd time when you explain the joke. But he will never really understand the joke. If you tell an army officer a joke, they will laugh 1 time when you tell the joke. They will not let you explain the joke, and it goes without saying that they are unable to understand the joke. If you tell a Jew a joke, he will interrupt you before you finish to tell you he's heard the joke before, and you're telling it wrong. Which leads me to my next point. In improv, we're often told not to interrupt, not to argue, not to sit there and tell long stories that don't go anywhere. Frankly, they're telling you, don't be Jewish. It's offensive. It's offensive. So in this show, we interrupt each other, we argue, but not only that, we invite you, the audience, at any point in the show, to interrupt the show. Start an argument with us. Ask us a question, or just kibitz with us. It's all fair game. Every interruption is a mitzvah.
Hey, Aaron.
Yes.
What does kibitz mean?
Kibitz? Oh,
Yeah.
God, these lights.
You said kibitz with us.
Yes, kibitz. Kibitz is like shooting the shit.
Okay.
But a little bit more complaining, maybe.
You know what's funny about Yiddish words is I don't know what any of them mean, but I think they're all replaceable with one another. In my opinion.
No, they're
I
not,
know.
sir. Wow, you can have a lot of accents. Like you don't want to mix up schmuck and kugel.
I don't think that Scott would know the difference for.
No, I could. Well, I might lie to him. He doesn't know. But when we set up this show, I'm going to embarrass you a little bit. I initially pitched the show for being on a Friday or a Saturday. And what I told Scott was, if it's on a Friday, we'll do Shabbat. If it's on a Saturday, we'll do Havdalah. And then he tells me, I gave you a date. A Thursday. And I go, okay. And then he goes, well, it's great though. You'll have more time so you can do the rituals. And I thought, but it's Thursday. So I just still wanted to do something. And about a month ago, a little less than a month ago, was the High Holy Days. It's the most important holidays of the year to Jews. So I thought we'd run through all 4 High Holy Days as fast as we possibly can. All right? So the first High Holy Day of the year is Rosh Hashanah. That's the Jewish New Year. And to ring in the Jewish New Year, we blow the shofar. This is not a legitimate shofar. It's made of plastic. It's a piece of schlock. A legitimate Jewish
No idea. No idea.
Schlock is a tchotchke.
Schlock is junk.
Okay, with you.
Wait a second. Did you get that from the Federation?
No, I ordered it on Amazon.com.
I stole it from a small child.
I wish I stole it from you. So anyways, a normal shofar is a ram's horn. But we blow the shofar every year to ring in the new year. So we're going to do that for you guys.
Tekiah. Shavarim. Teruah. Tekiah Gedolah. This is the long one.
This
is
one,
the long one.
it always becomes a pissing contest
Yes.
between older Jewish men.
Yes. You got this. Almost as long as the intro to the song we came out with.
Another Rosh Hashanah tradition, and I think this is a pretty beautiful tradition. Since it's the New Year's, now I don't have challah. Trader Joe's was sold out, so I have an end to a Hawaiian loaf.
Wait, can I tell quickly a Jewish
Please!
story? It was Passover, and I went to Kroger, and I went up to a person who worked at Kroger, and I said, "Do you have a Passover section?" And she said, "Like a disability wheelchair ramp?"
Yes,
And we
but
both
for
just
food.
looked at each other, like trying to figure out what each other said for so long. And that's my national Jewish.
So on Rosh Hashanah, one of the things we do is we take a piece of challah and we rip off little pieces. And we take things from the previous year that we want to leave behind, things we want to change or get over. And we imbue the bread with the idea of that thing. And then we cast it in a river. We're on stage, but we're improvisers. So we have a little trick called scene painting.
There is a river.
All right, so let me think. What would I like to? I think I would like to. I'd like to cast out jealousy. I'd like to be less jealous. It's supposed to flow away. That's the symbolism, is that it flows away from you.
Like to cast off greed.
You know, with them sitting right here, I kind of feel like I'm still just going to be jealous.
Yeah, I'm gonna. Okay, yeah, that's good.
All right, so moving on. The next holiday is Yom Kippur, and Yom Kippur is quite possibly the most important holiday to Jews.
Number one.
Number one. And it's the Day of Atonement. And Jews are supposed to not eat all day. All we're supposed to do is study the Torah and apologize to people. And one of the traditions of Yom Kippur is you apologize to every single person you see. So,
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
I'm waiting for my apology.
I'm so sorry.
Wait till next year.
I'm sorry.
Scott.
Oh no. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
It's not enough.
Sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I apologize. I'm so sorry.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
I'm
sorry.
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 Seth, I'm sorry.
Sorry, John.
No, I know.
I'm sorry. John.
Sorry.
Sorry.
That's okay.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Michael. I took longer than you. I think I was more heartfelt.
Yeah, I didn't know.
The next Jewish holiday.
Wait.
What?
So you apologize. Are you supposed to like give forgiveness or make
No,
No.
that's on you.
You're supposed to make amends. You are supposed to make.
Well, yeah. But
How
I
many
don't
people
need
You're not required to
forgiveness.
get forgiveness.
Yeah.
You got a lot of people to see. You have to just, sorry, move on.
Sorry, yeah. Well, you don't know what you might have done.
You just stay inside on Yom Kippur, so that way you don't have to apologize to anyone.
Well, that's exactly what most Jews do.
Yeah,
I stay in synagogue like all day.
That's
You
not-
apologize to
Jew staying
Jews.
inside is not like Yom Kippur, that's like most days.
That's what it
It's
is.
on your reflection.
It's every day. But that's the allergy.
Oh, Jacob, that is a very profound point. Should you apologize to your own reflection?
Oh, have you ever?
I have never. I should.
Yeah.
I have a lot to be sorry for. All right, moving on.
I don't have a question, I'm sorry.
No, please do not apologize for interrupting the show.
I was apologizing, I'll try not to. Does anybody like ever save a big apology for Yom Kippur? Like let's say they did something like
Yes. Yes.
not the day after Yom Kippur, they wait the entire year.
Oh,
to like
Why not? It's not gonna go away to Yom Kippur anyway. Might as well wait until they have to let go.
Oh, okay.
Oh, there's a requirement.
It's
Yeah,
not.
you're also supposed to forgive all debts on Yom Kippur. So, but anyways. So, Sukkot, that's the next holiday. And Sukkot is a harvest holiday. It's based on the fact that Jews often lived in places that required irrigation, so they couldn't live near their crops. So when they went to harvest their crops, they had to go build a temporary structure in their crops for the week. And so that's what Jews do on Sukkot. We build these temporary structures in our backyards. Mine's still up because I'm lazy. And
It's like your Christmas decoration.
it is like my Christmas decorations. I have a sukkah in my backyard for like a good month after Sukkot. So we build these temporary structures. So we're going to do that once again using the improv tool of cement.
There is a sukkah.
Yeah, but what is it, wood?
Yes, wood.
Wood?
Wood sukkah.
Did your family put a tarp around it?
Oh, my family didn't make us the sukkah.
My family puts a tarp around it.
Oh, that's nice to keep out the wind.
Yeah. Well, and it has to have at least 3 walls to be a kosher sukkah.
Oh, okay.
And so my dad thought tarps, that's an easy wall.
Yes.
That's smart. Did anyone else make a sukkah growing up? Yeah. Did you have
Did you use
tarps?
Either tarps or sheets or.
Which was most effective against the wind?
Either, because you get a big thunderstorm and it's gone.
It's gone.
That's
Yeah.
true, that's it. Well, what would you decorate with your sukkah? Would you hang
Yeah,
decorations?
you hang gourds
Yep, gourds, that's a big one.
and some straw,
Yeah.
I think. But gourds, and then there's the etrog and the lulav.
Oh my God.
I know.
You're breaking my heart. An etrog.
An etrog and a lulav.
Yeah. And you hold it. It's like, an etrog's like an Israeli lemon. It's a
Yeah.
bit hardier than a regular lemon. Like Israeli Jews to regular Jews.
Yes.
And lulav is like a bunch of reeds. And they're like woven. And they're like very specific reeds. I don't know. But you take them and you hold them and you shake them in every direction. I don't know what that's about.
You know why?
Do you know what that's about?
North, south, east, and west, in every direction.
Yeah, but why?
Yeah.
What?
Every north, south, east, west,
Right.
up and down.
Yeah, but why?
God's everywhere.
But not the diagonals.
God moves like an 8-bit video game. And then the next Jewish holiday is one of the most
Hold
important.
on.
Go ahead, please.
You built it.
Yes. Oh,
You hang stuff off of it?
and then you eat the decorating.
You
Yeah.
decorate.
And if you're really adventurous, you sleep in it.
It depends on where you live.
Yeah.
If you live
You
in, Nashville, you can sleep in it. If you live in Omaha, Nebraska,
No.
that's not recommended.
No.
Right.
What do you actually reflect on?
Ushpisen.
What am I actually reflecting on?
What do you actually reflect on when you're supposed to be?
That I got this cool playhouse in my backyard.
If you have children, they decorate it. They do stuff at Hebrew school. They make little paper
Yeah.
decorations that they hang up in the sukkah.
My daughter could not give a shit. But other kids do. All right, the next Jewish holiday is Simchat Torah, and that's a celebration of the Torah itself. See, every week Jews read a Torah portion, and it's a specific portion. Every synagogue in the world, in theory, reads the same Torah portion every week.
Does everyone know what the Torah is?
It's like,
So,
It's like the Bible that you take off the back.
oh, no, sir. It is the Bible without the additional It's, nothing's taken off. That implies one thing came first. So, anyways,
Oh, is the Torah just the Pentateuch, or is it all of it? For the Old Testament?
Technically, the first the five books of Moses.
Right. That's what I was asking.
yes,
Yeah, there you go.
yes. Pentateuch sounds, is that a Christian word?
Pentateuch.
Yes. So the
Okay.
Tanakh would be what he's thinking.
Gotcha, thank you.
That's actually the word I meant. I just said the wrong word. Thank
Okay.
you.
Happy to help.
So, on Simchat Torah, we finish the Torah and then start it again. But in between, we celebrate it, we carry it around the room and dance with it, and kiss it. So I brought a teeny tiny Torah.
It looks like a flask. That's a
It's
great
not a
flask.
flask. I wish I had a little Torah
Is
flask.
that really made in China on that?
It was made in Taiwan.
Where there are many Jews.
Right. And I don't read Hebrew, so I'm just going to approximate what the ending of the Torah is. I'm just going to guess what I think it'd be in English. Okay?
Oh God.
And they live happily ever
Moses dies at the end.
Spoiler alert! And then at the beginning, they started again.
Right.
Once upon a time. But then we dance around the room with it. Please, see? Oh, we're doing that thing? Yeah, some.
Supposed to take it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's
to show all the little kids how long it is.
Okay, now imagine that about 5 times bigger.
This one isn't written by hand, is it?
I don't think so. It's very tiny letters.
Oh my God.
This seems like
It's the whole Torah.
What's that one part say right there?
Over there in the middle says, I don't know.
Good call. Good call.
Good guess. And every synagogue I've ever been to, when they do this, they accidentally let it touch the floor, and then you're not supposed to do that. If it does touch the floor, you're supposed to give it a freaking funeral.
You have to fast for 40 days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
40?
Combined, so like a day per person.
Okay.
Shane, lie underneath it.
Well, this is not a kosher Torah anyways. It's still not done. Are you done?
So this is the Torah, and now we've all read it. And now we're.
See why it
Roll
takes
it back up.
Are there any bad omens or faux pas on the Jewish high holidays?
Yeah.
You don't want to
Well, I
bring.
guess in addition to that.
Well, in Yom Kippur, you don't want to show up with a big sandwich.
We'll go out to the big buffet afterwards.
Are you still unraveling?
No, I'm raveling.
Okay, good.
That's going to take the rest of the show. Oh.
Unraveling this was a big mistake even.
Hey, how was everyone's day?
Fine.
Better than yours.
My life is in unraveling.
Well, maybe we should have either do stand-up. By the time he's done, maybe we'll be raveled up.
No, we got it.
Well,
So normally people dance during this part.
Yes.
yeah, well, they Well,
Dance.
when you're done doing this, you put its dress back on. Tours
Yeah.
wear dresses and jewelry and all this stuff. They're very gaudy.
Sweet. You got to unwrap the 5 times larger one?
Yeah, it goes around the whole synagogue, so, and all the people there hold a piece of it.
Does it ever rip?
Yeah.
It can, it's made out of sheepskin though, so it doesn't really
Oh.
rip, it's sewn
That's smart
together.
material.
It's
Really
really
don't want it to.
You
This is
don't.
not a kosher tour.
How many sheep does it take to make a Torah?
I don't know. But that could be a joke, right? Right.
All right, okay. Let me finish this. It was going so well.
And then Simchat Torah, that's the end of the High Holy Days.
And then we did it. We did all the holidays.
All right, and we have a very special guest tonight. We have a special Gentile guest, stand-up comedian, to come out and do some stand-up for you guys. We figured an hour and a half of straight Jews would be a little too much, so we decided to put a Christian right in the middle. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce Eddie Ortiz.
What's going on, everybody? How's it doing tonight? That is the strangest thing I've ever seen in my whole life. Up front. What's going on over there? You alright? Alright. So wait, you're telling me that building a fort is part of the religion?
Yes.
You get to build a fort?
Yes, once a year.
That's kind of dope. The only Jewish thing that I celebrate is Yom Kippur. I like Yom Kippur. I won't smoke weed all day, and then I'll smoke a bunch of weed, and then call all my ex-girlfriends and apologize. That's what I do. What's going on, everybody? My name is Eddie Ortiz. I'm originally from Los Angeles, but I moved to the South about 10 years ago because I'm a masochist, I guess. The thing that I didn't realize that was going to be so difficult about living in the South was being all of my white friends' only black friend.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially when you're Mexican. And I'm not even Mexican. I'm about as Mexican as the tacos at Jack in the Box. Just as high cholesterol. Have you guys had the mini tacos? I haven't read a joke about it yet. But those mini tacos, they're sublime. They have mini tacos, mini churros. No, they're called tiny tacos. Tiny tacos, mini churros. Oh, and then, that was a rant. I was just thinking about what I'm going to do immediately after this. That's what's happening. I grew up in Los Angeles, and it was a weird place. It was a weird place. I happened to growing up in a very particular part of Los Angeles. It was like the one part of LA where all of the people from El Salvador had coagulated, and then we started what turned out to be the dopest gang ever. You guys ever heard of the MS-13? The MS-13 started in my neighborhood when I was a child. And so my mom, I wasn't a gangster, I was more like a MS-14 XL, you know? And so, there we go, all right. Give it up for Third Coast. Love this place. So my brother, he was a little more gangsta than I was. So he was getting like talked to, you know, they were like vetting him, they were going to combines and stuff, you know. Can you run? How do you hold a gun? Stuff like that. And but then my mom figured it out, she swooped us out in the middle of the night. It was exactly like the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Except it was more like the Fresh Prince of my Tia Sonia's garage. Unlike most of my Jewish friends, my family doesn't communicate at all. Like, I grew up Catholic, but no one ever told me. I just figured it out one day. My mom, she would take us to church, and I don't know if you guys know this, but Catholicism in Spanish, spooky. Real spooky. Everything's like these big, scary cathedrals, and I mean, we don't get touched as much as the other kids, but, ooh, is that too much? Was that too much? Okay, good, that's fine. Oh man. And so she would drop us off at the kids' part, and then after a while I figured out that if I asked for $1 in this moment, because that's really what it was, you know? That's the only time we communicated was, how am I gonna get some money out of this lady? So I was like, hey mom, can I have $1 to put in the thing? Because we pass around the thing, because that's what the whole church is about. Money. Anybody catch that? Anybody catch that? We pass around, it's like the first thing they do is like, you're here? Give us your money. So she gives me the $1, and then she pulls around to the adults person part, and then I go to the 7-Eleven, because that was my church. That's where I went to church. But I made a concession, you know, I made a concession. Every time I had a Slurpee, I thought about Jesus the whole time. Wild cherry Jesus is my favorite. I think that's my favorite Jesus. So they asked me to be on this because they happen to know some terrible part of my past. I was once in a Christian rock band. Listen. We all do things to get laid. We all do things to get laid. And when I was in high school, I realized I had a very, very terrible fetish. I was really into chubby white girls. And Christianity is where you go for that. That's what they make them. That's how it works. So I was in a Christian punk rock band. And, you know, the whole time I was like, I don't know about this. I had a very particular, experience, though, because I got to be in a Christian rock band when all of the people that stormed the Capitol had just started living. You know what I mean? Like, I was driving around the country going to church every weekend going, we're all about to die. We're all about to die. We're all about to die. But, you know, I guess if I had to classify my religion, I would say I'm super into churros. I'm really into churros. I'm really blessed the churros is what I think. Anyways, so the one thing that I didn't understand is the entire flyer for this show. I stared at it for a while. Why do you have a Bissel in your Chutzpah? What's going on? Is there an ointment for that? Oh, Chutzpah. Who's Chutzpah? You're like, Aunt? What's going on? Y'all, I will give you credit though. I don't know if you can tell, but I've eaten a lot of sandwiches in my life. And my favorite sandwich is a pastrami sandwich. It really is! Yeah! It's not better than any taco ever existed, but it's a really good sandwich. It's a $22 sandwich if you've ever been to Cats. And I get 2 of them. And that girlfriend broke up with me. That's what happened. Let's not talk about her. Let's talk about the girlfriend that I made up for this joke. My girlfriend and I, we were never gonna work. We were never gonna work, you know? Like if Disney was gonna cast a movie about us, they'd pick Bambi to play her, and then they'd pick one of the trash rats from Ratatouille to play me. If we were math, she'd be in a cute angle, and I'd be obtuse by a few hundred pounds. You know what I mean? Just contradictions. And I knew it wasn't gonna work. One day she looked at me and she goes, you know, you're kind of my dreamboat. And I was like, wait a minute, did you have a dream that I was not the size of a boat? That's what happened? No one ever gets that joke. But that's actually a real thing that happened. Anyways, so we broke up, and we broke up recently, and I forgot what it's like to be out there. What's the age range in here? Let's talk about it real fast. Everybody here arranged marriages? Is that what's going on here? Yeah, is that what it is? Oh man, that's nice. Because it's hard to fall in love with somebody. It's real easy to have to deal with somebody. You know? It's like, okay, we'll be fine. But I don't do well on Tinder, it turns out, because I think girls can see shapes. I think that's what's going on. And plus I learned real young, they'd rather have sex with a serial killer than date a nice person with a beautiful face and this gorgeous hair, but a body that looks like something the cops pulled out of the river. I'm being body positive right now. It would be really nice if I make a career out of this body. So be positive about these jokes. Thank you. We're just joking. You guys, I don't like to rail against stuff, but let's talk about the Torah. There's not enough books. There's not enough books.
There's just enough.
4 books?
5.
6 books?
5. It's 5.
7 books is not enough. 5 books. I think I could do it. Let me see if I could do it. Unfortunately, and I don't know if you guys know this, everybody on the stage tonight is acting. That's what we're doing. I'm acting like a stand-up. It's not going well. Backstage, as they were doing whatever the hell that was, I found a book. There's a big blue book, and it says the Big Blue Jew Book on it. And that's what it says on the cover. He doesn't know it either. He doesn't know it either. So at least I know one thing about my Jewish friends. They pass over information too. That's what happens. I wouldn't pass over a Danish. That's what me is. What was I talking about? I'm really stoned. Anybody else? Anybody else? I was listening to Bruno Mars in my car and hotboxing earlier. Just to feel. Just to feel. Did anybody else get sad during the pandemic?
Yeah.
Is anybody still sad during the pandemic? It's been a rough time. It's been a rough time watching the Christians ruin our lives. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And you can applaud for that all you want. I'm gonna make a bunch of Jew jokes at the end. No, and I just don't understand, at what point in time do you like look at somebody and go, you know what? I could figure this out on my own. And then you open your phone and you Google, am I right about this? And it just says, yes. And they're like, I did my research. I did my research. Like, that's the whole point. For me, religion has always been a specific thing. Let's figure out what the hell's going on here. How did we get here? And why do we keep wanting to murder each other for our penises? I don't get that part. Like, I mean, I'm the special Gentile guest for another particular reason. I don't know, have you guys ever Googled uncut hunks? If anybody wants to try it, see me later. You should Google that, save search off, you'll see what I'm talking about. And so,
How's he you specifically?
oh gosh. He walked in on me in the bathroom and then we had to talk about it, because he'd never seen one, and I'm like, it's just like if a tiny elephant was coming out of you. That's the joke I wrote when you asked me to do this. We were at a party and both of us were stoned. Do you tell people you smoke weed? We were stoned. And young could put my ass. And he goes, you want to be my special Gentile guest? And I was like, yes, I'm an uncut hunk. That's how it works. Okay, let's get back on track for a minute. Let's get back on track. I don't like to rail against big things, but I have beef. I have beef with the Marvel Universe. I really do. And I know I don't want to be one of those people that hates it, like people who hate Star Wars, but I don't hate Star Wars. I love Star Wars. You know why? The Marvel Universe made 1,000 movies and couldn't put one person that looked like me in it. One person. One even close to Latino, you know what I mean? Like even the Latinos that are like, you guys are Jewish, but you're white people, but you're Jewish, you know what I mean? You couldn't put one of those Latinos in, like a Costa Rican. And Star Wars, I mean, at least we got Jabba the Hutt, right? It's all about representation. I just wish they would quit making us gangsters, is what I'm saying. Now, so this is what I propose, and this is, I think I'm going to take a stand on it. I'm going to try to become famous for this reason. If they're not going to make superheroes that look like me, I should be the superhero. Yeah, it should be me. First of all, I get real sexy when I take my glasses off. Yeah, real sexy, uncut hunks. I look really good at spandex. Really good at spandex. If you're a fan of Jell-O. And when I was 6, I stopped a robbery at a casino while wearing a Batman costume.
Right.
And then now we're going to get into the true portion of my show. That's the true story. When I was 6, I realized my mom was cool. Like, I didn't know my mom was cool, but then one day her best friend comes over, 10 o'clock, midnight, somewhere in there, and goes, take your 4 little children, put them in the back of this pickup truck, and let's go to Vegas. And my mom was like, duh, or however they do that in Spanish. And so we go to Vegas. Now, has anybody here ever been to Vegas, or are you guys pious? What's going on? Vegas, you been to Vegas? Now, if you show up in Vegas in the middle of the night, there's only one place you can bring children. If you know it, feel free to scream it out. Anybody? Has anybody ever heard of a little casino called the Circus Circus? The circus is a shit show, it turns out. So we go to the Circus Circus, and why we go to the Circus Circus? Because they have an entire kids area where you can leave your children and then never come back. Like you live here now, or if you run out of money, you can bet against them. The white kids are worth more, sorry. That's just how it is. That's just how it is in the world. So we were there, and I was standing in the ball pit, because I'm a ball pit kind of boy, you know, that's what I do. And I got hungry, I gotta be honest. I've always had a fat kid on the inside. I also had a fat kid on the outside. And so I like start looking around, and I like push these two doors open, and I see what I can only describe now as heaven, Valhalla, whatever religion you call it. But the most beautiful thing I'd ever seen in my entire life. It was the first time I'd even understood the concept of a buffet. I'd never seen a buffet before. In my whole life, I didn't know they existed. And so I walk in, and there's this room full of stuff that if I stand next to it and eat all of it, some lady will come back and fill it up again, no questions asked. So, I don't know how it works out for your guys' lives, but the first thing I did was eat a tower of shrimp. That's what I ate. So I'm gonna stand here and eat all this shrimp, and some lady's gonna bring more shrimp. This is heaven. This is my heaven. I know your heaven doesn't have shrimp, it's fine. You should get a little wild. Do you guys get Rumspringa? Is that a thing too? You should go try that shrimp. It's real good. Lobster? Oh, I did. Oh, yeah. Holy Ghost lobster. So I eat all this shrimp. They're telling me to leave. And then immediately next to the shrimp, and this is where they fucked up. This is their fault. Was a soft serve machine, and it was a soft serve machine. There's no cones around, so I just took it from the machine. But not even just like a little bit, like for a while. I stood there for a while. I was like, this soft serve's mine, bitches. So then I get full, and then I go back to the ball pit. I'm just standing in the ball pit, you know? Just standing in the ball pit. And I start to feel that rumble. Yeah, you know the rumble? It's like, first it's like air is being created in your body. It's like, maybe I'm God. And, thank you for that. So then I'm like, oh, and then I get little farts. And I'm wearing a cape, so it's just like, so I'm like, oh, this is not gonna work out. So I get out of the ball pit, and right when I get out of the ball pit, I'm like, oh, I'm gonna throw up. Like I figure it out. And of course, I'm 6 years old, I'm about to throw up in a strange place. What's the one thing that you want? Your mom! You want your mom to watch you throw up. And so I run into the casino thinking, I'll find my tiny 5-foot Mexican lady mom in this giant casino. So I push the doors open to the casino, and I get hit with this waft of air. And this air, it's impregnated with broken dreams, and overrun mortgages, and feet for some reason. And so I'm like, gonna throw up. So I look over, there's an exit. There's a bathroom here, but I didn't think bathroom, I thought, get me the heck out of here. So I start running towards the exit, you know, my cape's flapping in the wind. Right as I get to the door, I like go to open the door, and then I throw up all over the door. And then I throw up all over the floor. And then I open the door, and I step over the floor, throw up, and throw up a bunch more outside. It felt good, I needed to do it. At that exact moment, 2 robbers were robbing the Circus Circus. 2 guys grabbed a bunch of money and just started running for that door. Robber number 1 slides through my bonnet and runs into the door. But he's little, so he didn't have enough to open it, you know? So robber number 2 slides through my bonnet onto robber number 1. They open the door and fall on top of each other on my 3rd pile of vomit. And this is my favorite part. Right behind them was a cop, guns drawn, running to get them. and he power glides through my vomits, straight through the door, because he had the girth for it, you know? And then he falls on top of both of the robbers. He's got his gun in his hand, and then he looks over at me, and there I am. And he goes, "What are you doing, kid?" And he was a cop, so I ran, and I never knew what happened again. And I know this whole time you guys have been thinking, oh man, the girl from the Alabama Shakes Does Comedy, she's so talented. But my name's Eddie Ortiz, y'all have a good night.
Let's hear it for Eddie Ortiz! We're going to take a brief 10-15 minute intermission, so go grab yourself a drink and then come back here. All right. We could have kept it going, but that's not what we're here for. All right, this is the part of the show we're going to do improv. Remember, please interrupt us, please.
All right, got a suggestion.
I gotta get this so you get it.
Okay. Can I have a suggestion of something that someone actually said to you today?
Nobody talked to anyone at all today?
It's 2 for 1.
Why are you sweating? Are you nervous?
Somebody said that to you? What was the context?
I was getting my nails done.
You getting your nails
Do you get nervous when you...
No, I was always sweaty, but
Okay.
I wasn't. But most people don't talk about it. But
Was the AC broke?
it wasn't on. No.
It
But,
wasn't on. So you were hot.
yeah, but not.
But
that
you'd be
hot.
sweaty anyway.
Yeah.
All right.
Can you remind me of the line? I already forgot it.
Why are you sweating? Are you nervous?
Why are you sweaty?
I'm nervous.
Aren't you gonna give me my corsage? Jacob?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I got it.
It's all drippy.
Well, I picked it. And then I stapled it to this elastic band.
You know, my parents weren't exactly thrilled that I was going with you to this dance, so...
My parents were ecstatic that you were coming to be with me to this dance. Sorry.
Okay, just smile for the pictures.
Did you get it? Did you get it? They got it.
Okay, but here's the rules. When we go to the dance, you're not allowed to look at me that much. You're definitely not going to dance with me. But when I look at you, you need to go get me water.
Oh.
Repeat those back to me.
Don't look at you.
Yes.
Don't dance with you.
Yes.
Get you water.
If.
You look at me.
Yes.
That's the only reason you would look at me.
Yes.
Got it. I get it. I got it.
Okay.
I got it.
Okay.
Okay. I got us a limousine.
Just the two of us in the limousine?
Well, I thought maybe some friends of yours would come with us, but
Well, none of my friends wanted to come because they found out I was going with you. They're all going with, like, like Matthew and John and, like, those guys. And, like, that's where all my friends got dates. And I don't know, maybe people just, like, assumed that I already had a date. And that's why they didn't ask me. And that's why, like, you were the only one that asked me. And I said no. And then I said no. And then you just kept asking. And I was like, well, I'll think about it. Just, like, waiting for anyone else to ask me to the dance. And then finally, like, it was yesterday, you asked, and I said, okay.
Cheryl, I need to ask you a question.
What?
Did my mom give you $100?
No.
Because she gave you $200?
Let's get it.
Excuse me. I'm sorry, where are you
Don't say, excuse me, don't say sorry. Just say what you're gonna say.
Where are you geographically?
Chicago.
Okay.
Okay. I'm moving your sweater.
Oh yeah. Oh, really quick. Maybe this is a good time to do my costume change.
Yes, we'll do it.
Oh, yeah.
I think I love it because it's off center.
Spin for us. Yeah.
This is such a fun dance.
It's a shame we lost.
I'm having really fun with you.
We're doing the scene.
Yeah, we're doing this. I'm having a good time.
You want water? Right.
No. Come back. No, I don't want water. I don't want water.
You were looking at
Just
me.
I know, because I'm having fun. Like, have you been having fun tonight?
Are you? Yes, I really enjoyed those 3 previous times I got you water.
Forget about that.
Yeah.
Just look at me. Just vibe with
Look at
me.
you.
Vibe with me. Look at my face.
Dance with you?
Oh. A Cher song.
It's a slow song.
Are you crying?
No. Yes, I'm crying.
Don't cry.
I've never been so happy as this moment right now.
You love Cher?
I love you, Cheryl.
Oh. That was too much.
Yes.
It was too much. We're back on water terms. Hey, Matthew, you want to dance with me instead?
Yeah, sure.
People out of the audience.
No, I'm the girl. Sit down, Matthew. I don't want you. You're not nice. You can't handle it.
He's wearing a sparkling drink on his
Grandpa, are you okay? You look like you're gonna pass out. Sit down, Grandpa. Sit down.
Oh, thank you so much.
Is this a new scene?
Yes, this is a
Fluid transition.
Okay.
He called me Grandpa.
I understand.
You're not a chaperone.
Really? Can we change it though to Zadie?
To Zadie.
Zadie,
Yeah.
definitely
Yeah,
Zadie.
you're Jewish.
Okay, Zadie.
All right, let's start over.
Okay. Hey Scott, we're gonna transition the scene again.
Wait, before you do that, what is Zadie?
Zadie's Grandpa.
Okay.
Zadie, are you okay? You're gonna.
Oh, I just now realized I'm Zadie.
You've always been my Zadie.
Oh, I'm delirious.
What's wrong? Do you need
Delirious.
some water? I have some right here.
Oh, thank you so much. Oh, Joshua. Oh.
I've always hated how you drink.
I like the feeling.
It's
about
true.
that.
I know.
That red chain under my chest.
Zadie, why are you acting like this? It's the 4th of July. They do fireworks every year.
I have post-traumatic stress disorder.
You weren't in any wars.
You got it.
Thank you. It's not from a war, okay? You can get PTSD from all sorts of things, not just war. I'll have you know I had a very traumatic doctor's appointment a week ago.
What's wrong? Which body part this time, Zadie?
He said nothing's wrong.
Is it the time where you're gonna die soon, so I have to ask you to tell me your stories so I know them?
No, it's not just like that podcast we did.
What's it called?
The podcast?
Yeah.
It's called Audio-Based Content.
Hey.
It's an improv comedy podcast available on all major podcast platforms.
Greatest like it.
You have to be able to handle anything. It's the fireworks. It's every single year.
I can handle anything. Anything at all that's not accompanied with a loud noise and a big bright flash.
Yeah, but that's just. It's just kind of ridiculous. You're a ridiculous person, okay? I'm sorry, you're a ridiculous person.
Oh, really?
Yes,
Is that what you think?
I do think that.
That's what you think of your Zadie, that
Yes.
I'm a ridiculous person?
Yes.
Do you think it's ridiculous that my father escaped the Russian Tsar's army by disguising himself as a woman at the age of 9 years old, making his way all the way from Russia to the Baltic Sea, getting on a ship and coming to America and making a life for himself and starting a laundromat? Is that ridiculous?
You should sing the song.
I don't know any songs.
Sing the song that that your dad sang to you every night before you went to sleep.
Neil Diamond.
Sing the Neil Diamond song.
Or the one from Five O Mouth.
That's fake. Okay. Oh, son of mine, don't you know how far I've traveled for you to have this life that you have currently?
Are there no cats in America?
There are no cats. That's it. That's the song.
Yes,
Famously a Diamond song.
Grandma, you're just ridiculous. Do you want to? You are ridiculous. Okay? Just what? Do you want a hot dog before I put out the grill?
Is it a beef hot
No,
dog?
it's a pork hot dog.
No!
It's ridiculous. Just have the pork hot. It's delicious. Yes.
My father did not put on a dress at the age of 9 and make his way to the Baltic Sea so that I would eat pork hot dogs.
Yeah.
We live in America now. We have to just be American. Just all the old country.
Be American.
Just forget it, okay?
Be American. What, you go to church? Celebrate Christmas?
Well, you know what? I'm actually dating a very nice Jewish girl right now, or a Christian girl, and I go to church with her. Okay. Do you want cheese on this pork hot dog?
A knife to his heart. How
Right.
could you?
Did you hear what she said?
Listen, our neighbor is crazy. Do you want cheese on this pork hot dog?
She got out of that institution and they gave her a little piece of paper.
Okay,
Do you know a piece of paper?
I don't have
No, you don't.
I don't
So who among us has a piece of paper that says they're not crazy? A neighbor. Not you. And not me either. What, put cheese on it?
cheese on the pork hot dog.
Jesus Christ.
It's a bacon bits.
So I get why the pork hot dog. I get why the pork hot dog is problematic.
Yeah.
And I get why the bacon bits are problematic.
The cheese is
Yeah,
throwing
what's
you
the
off.
thing? with
You
cheese?
can't have dairy in
Don't
here.
just milk and meat.
Everyone spoke at once. I have no idea what anyone said.
Please, I got this. You can't mix meat and dairy because there's a single line in the Torah that says not to eat a calf in its mother's milk.
Okay.
How long do you have to cook between them?
6 hours.
6 hours, yes.
Is that in the Torah or is that something else?
That's
No,
for a
that-
rabbi.
Yeah, that would be like a rabbinical council debated for a couple hundred years, this is the exact amount of time, and they settled at some point on 6 hours.
Boy, Gavay, am I right?
I guess.
If you eat dairy first, it's shorter period of time. If you eat meat first.
She knows more than me.
I went to Ari Crown Hebrew Day School.
Oh, name dropping Hebrew day.
It was in Chicago.
But Orthodox Jews might even have 2 separate ovens and sets of silverware.
Yeah,
and plates.
yeah, exactly.
When I was a child, my parents would have some silverware with blue electrical tape on the handle and others with brown electrical tape.
The blue is for dairy, am I right?
That's correct.
How did I know that?
They choose their colors too.
Yeah, they chose. You can use whatever you want to mark the
But generally, blue is for dairy, and red is for meat.
Right. We got a problem. I got a huge problem.
I was gonna do a new scene. Or is that?
Tell Scott
I
about
thought
it.
you were just gonna be.
You start your scene. I'll start start my
This bar mitzvah is the worst bar
Oh,
mitzvah.
that's a huge problem.
What?
Oh, I want to make a cheese pizza, but my dairy oven's on the fritz. All I got is my meat oven. What am I gonna do?
Well, you gotta do what everybody does. You just have to do the vegan cheese. Vegan cheese.
I think everyone at this bar mitzvah, see how I merged it? I think everyone at this bar mitzvah will be really disappointed with vegan cheese.
You just don't tell them. No one will know.
Yes.
Yes, they will.
I don't know. This is the worst bar mitzvah I've already been to. So just do it. Make the vegan cheese pizza.
All right. I'll do it.
What's the worst thing that can happen at a bar mitzvah?
Oh,
The kid dies.
I cannot believe that child just died on the way.
No, the voice cracks.
Yeah.
The voice
Yeah, or he doesn't know his toe portion.
That's not everybody. It's great. Nobody knows their door portion. I tripped on the way up today.
That's the worst thing.
No, I think I died.
I think the worst thing at a bar mitzvah is when the kids are like grinding on each other. Which, as a 13-year-old, I was super into. Yeah, it was like the #1 thing. And then everyone's grandparents would just be like, "This is the worst bar mitzvah."
Are you the grandma in this?
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
Okay, so I'm the grandma. What?
Oh no, she said she wants to see the grinding.
Well, what? Who are you with at the show? Who are you with? How do you two know each other?
Our friends.
Do you mind demonstrating?
friends had a bit of a-
If you don't mind, you guys can be the grinders, so we'll grind it down here. Okay. Well, do you want to comment on us? We'll do the grinding and you can comment.
What? Wait a minute.
No, you want me to be Matthew again? Here's what we'll do. We'll do a split scene of the people commenting on the grinding. And then we'll go over there and do the grinding. So let's start over here.
Hey, Aaron, yeah, there's a tag hanging out of your back pocket.
Oy vey, am I right?
These kids are just so inappropriate.
I don't know. I gotta be real honest. I'm kind of jealous of that kid's erection.
It's not one that you've had in a number of years, Morty.
I don't know who he is. Certainly not with you.
Well, with you, I'm about to get there. I'm as dry as this halva. Juice. It's really gross. It's like chalky.
My dad loves it.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe there's nothing between us. Maybe we weren't even those people those kids before. We've never been those people. We've never been into each other before.
We haven't been those people. You don't remember that we met all those years ago? My cousin Miriam's bar mitzvah.
Dance like this before. Your erection is there.
14 and hard as a rock.
And I don't even know halva.
You should really try to fill your purse with yogurt.
Yes.
Yeah.
This was my Aunt Edith. She would always go to Shiva's and she would just put desserts in her purse.
My Aunt Essie.
But
Yes.
every Oneg.
Yes.
Oneg, put your desserts in your purse.
Yeah.
But you gotta be Russian.
What?
You have to be Russian.
You do not have to be Russian
You just have to be
hoard
Jewish.
food.
Can I say any words that people don't know, by the way?
Bang. The oneg, probably.
Oleg, Shiva,
Yeah, Scott, he's not bad.
I didn't keep it up.
You should definitely be Billy.
You know what? I am just gonna take all of these brownies, these lemon bars, and I am gonna go home and I am going to make you sleep on the couch.
eat all those brownies and lemon pies, you're gonna be so big, I'm gonna have to sleep on them.
I carried 14 of your children. Don't say a word about my body.
Sometimes I think you're still carrying them.
We went through menopause together. Don't say a word about my body.
Sometimes I think we're still going through menopause.
There will never be problems in this world.
I'll love you forever.
Yeah.
We're not gonna go back over that.
No, I think we're done with the scene.
I think so too. Sweet.
Time for like one more scene?
I don't know what time it is. So we got a bit.
Yeah.
1, 2, 1.
Yeah. Should we get like someone to come up and be part of the scene?
Why not?
Who is not Jewish here and wants to learn?
What is this? Is this from the Kabbalah?
Kabbalah is what Madonna spent a lot of money to put a red yard.
I got it. Okay.
Jewish mysticism.
Okay. Probably not.
What?
That's probably not.
No, I was making a joke. They like those shapes.
And I think that for this scene, we would like to be that group of guys who wants to go get the Jews. You know, I think.
Oh, like a pogrom?
Yeah, like a pogrom.
Like what era of getting the Jews?
I think we can all be our own era. Pick your own era of when Jews weren't liked. Sam, looking at you to pick a good one. So I think that we should just start.
Okay, sure.
The Middle Ages were a good one, Sam. Middle Ages.
Let's be real, it's more than 2,000 years.
When did it start? When did it start?
Probably Abraham. That's probably when it started.
The Middle Ages were a good one, Sam. Middle Ages. Oh, Middle Ages.
Yeah.
Inquisition.
The Inquisition were
If I'm
nice.
being honest.
Spanish Inquisition.
Inquisition, that's a good one, Sam.
Nobody expects it.
Nobody expects that we're just gonna sneak up and we're just gonna punch those Jews.
I don't think all this sneaking up. Let's go in on horseback and just fucking rape and murder the whole lot of them. I'm the Russian. The Russian Christian National Cossacks?
Cossacks.
Come on, Cossacks.
Cossacks.
All right. Well, that's what they did, people.
What if we just didn't do that?
That guy does not know how to play an anti-Semite.
We gotta get that in the curriculum, Scott. Level 4, how to be anti-Semitic on stage.
Some people do it without even trying. We're doing the same. Okay.
That's the last scene.
You look like you're about to do something.
He does.
Yes,
Do it. Do it.
Do it.
Do it!
Do it.
Do it, Howard.
Do it.
Oh,
Sword! A baguette.
What do you have this one?
convert or die.
Oy vey, am I right?
Can't I just like pretend to convert? I'll change my name, you know? And then in 100 years, that'll be a Jewish name too. but now, ooh, that doesn't work.
I love the Dodgers.
Yes,
Sandy Koufax is a phenomenal left-handed
the
pitcher.
Dodgers, correct, yes. And I bet you like watching movies.
I do like movies.
Good.
Do Jews do movies?
We've done a couple of movies.
Name one of them.
Have you ever seen that movie, Indiana Jones and the Raiders of the Lost Ark?
Is Indiana Jones Jewish?
I do think Harrison Ford might be a little Jewish, but Steven Spielberg and George Lucas are both very Jewish.
Wow. Those couldn't be the guys that did E.T. the Extraterrestrial and Star Wars also.
It is.
Oh
the
my
same,
gosh.
the same. And did you know that the Star Wars contains a lot of Jewish allegory?
Which part?
The whole thing.
Well, I guess I do like sports and movies, so, well, I don't know. Have Jews done music? Probably. I'm not even talking about music, because I don't really like the artists. I like the producers.
Have you ever listened to like an early album on the Def Jam Records?
I love those albums.
Produced by Rick Rubin, perhaps?
Wow.
Correct, sir. And you might be surprised to learn it was a Jew that broke the Wu-Tang Clan into the style.
Wow. Okay. So Jews have done sports.
Sports.
Jews make
We
movies.
don't really anymore, except for one or two.
Okay. And Jews produce music. Well, those are three of my favorite things. So I can't be mad at you, but
Right.
I will say there's one thing that I love so much that I bet the Jews don't have anything to do with.
What is it?
Start a cabal for child pedophilia. I bet that's not the Jews.
Right before we go, I'd like to close with another old Jewish joke. And this joke is a couple hundred years old. A young rabbinical scholar is about to leave for the New World to start his congregation in America. And he goes to his mentor, an older rabbi, and he asks for advice. He says, "Rabbi, I'm very nervous about going to the New World. I'm scared I won't be a good rabbi. I won't be a good leader or a good educator." And the old rabbi says to him, "I'm going to give you an adage to keep in your mind and turn to in moments of sadness and confusion." And the rabbi says to the young man, "Life is like a fountain." And the young rabbi is so impressed by the profundity of these words. Profundity of these words, I think. And he goes to America, and he has a great, successful career as a rabbi. He turns to this phrase every time he's sad, confused, or afraid, and it gives him guidance. It leads him on the right path. And then 20 years go by, and he learns that his mentor is dying. So he goes back to Warsaw to visit the old rabbi that taught him. And he's there, and the old man is dying. And he says to him, 20 years ago, you gave me this adage, and it served me so well in life. But I gotta be honest, I don't really know what it means. So, Rabbi, now that you're about to enter the world of knowledge, will you please tell me, how is life like a fountain? And the old rabbi turns to him and he says, "Okay, fine, life's not like a fountain." Good night. October 16th, so this Saturday, me and my daughter will be selling comic books at the Hunter Taylor Art Market. So come and check it out.
Tomorrow night, I am not playing on the main stage show, but I'm going to be underscoring on the piano, and I'm terribly nervous about it. So